Late this morning, Boston police and the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office released video of the confrontation between officials and Usaama Rahim, resulting in Rahim's death. And although many were hoping the video would answer all lingering questions, for some, it's led to even more. WGBH's Stephanie Lydon reports.
The yellow circle highlights 26-year-old Usaama Rahim last Tuesday morning as he crosses a Roslindale parking lot. The video, taken from a Burger King about 50 yards away, shows police approaching and then retreating. What's not visible in the video is a foot-long military knife that police say the 6-foot-tall Rahim brandished at the officers. They say at one point he came within 3 or 4 feet of police.
This unraveled very quickly, and I think they made the right call very well. He was intent on taking out somebody, and it was either us or them.
The officers on the scene, 5 FBI agents and 1 Boston police officer, were all members of the Joint Terrorism Task Force. Investigators say they had just received intelligence that Rahim was plotting to kill a police officer.
I think he was intent, as the affidavit says, on getting a boy in blue, and I don't think at this point he was going to go down very easy. There were multiple requests for him to put down that weapon.
Rahim was hit 3 times in the stomach and in each shoulder. Investigators say an FBI agent fired 2 shots. The police officer fired a 3rd. The shooting happened at 7 in the morning. You can see traffic, including on the right-hand side of the screen, a school bus, something the officers took into account.
When you're firing at somebody, they call what's in the background the backdrop. He saw the bus, he waited to the bus.
The DA says it's unusual to release video evidence this early in the case, but that he hopes to be as transparent as possible. Stephanie Lydon, WGBH News.
The video of the shooting was first shown to community leaders this past Wednesday and to Rahim's family the following day. Among them was his older brother, Imam Ibrahim Rahim, who joins me now. Imam, thank you very much for being with me. Is it hard for you to watch that?
It's very difficult to watch, yes.
And originally, you posted on Facebook that you believe that your brother had been shot 3 times in the back. Clearly, once you saw the video, that is no longer...
Yes, that was an inaccuracy. We corrected that on social media, and we retracted the statement.
And is that the same, what you also said in that Facebook posting, that your brother was on the phone with your father at the time, and at the end said, "I can't breathe"? Was that confirmed or undercut by the video?
So I think the legal team is going to address that aspect of it. Suffice to say that the only element that was corrected in what I posted was the entry point of the action by the police officers.
Bullets you're talking
the bullets,
about.
Yes.
Why did you believe that that's what had happened to your brother?
It was what was initially reported to me. So
by whom,
by family members.
Family members.
Yes.
After having seen the video the first time, and I assume you've seen it several times since, what are the major questions that, from your perspective, your family's perspective, and by the way, your family's lawyer, Ron Sullivan, will be with us on Boston Public Radio tomorrow, but from your family's perspective, what are the major unanswered questions for you?
Well, the video that was released today, as indicated in the public response that was offered by Attorney Sullivan, it's significant in as much as it does not illustrate to the public that there's a longer narrative, it's a longer video than the portion that was released today. So there are certain things that have not been addressed in that.
And did you see the earlier part of the video that was not released today?
We've seen the entire length of the video.
And what the part that was not released to the public today, the earlier part, what would that tell us about the whole encounter that we don't know from what we saw at this press conference today?
Well, it bears a lot of questions. It bears questions relative to the specific formation of the agents and the police officers that they had taken prior to contact, the weaving in between the cars and the parking lot, and the 2x2 formations that they were in, and an officer who had already had his gun pulled out.
So you say, despite what we've heard from the commissioner will be with us in a few minutes and others in law enforcement, that they had not drawn their weapons until after they were approached by your brother with a knife. You say that's not true.
The full footage will bear evidence that a weapon was drawn prior to contact.
Do you acknowledge that your brother had in his possession and was brandishing a knife? Or
we don't.
You do not?
We do not acknowledge that. And it's not evident from what was provided in that video that there was a weapon.
What else would we have seen in the early part of that video that we
You'd have
are
seen
not?
the officers in that formation, and you would have seen a weapon that was brandished by one of the officers, and you would have seen them converge upon him in a manner that was clearly indicative of an intent to be very physical with him.
Even before
Before
anything, any
yes.
move on his part?
Yes.
Okay. The FBI, one of the FBI affidavits in this case said that your brother was intent on committing violent jihad. You just heard the Boston Police Commissioner talk about how he wanted to go after the boys in blue. Do you have any doubt that your brother had become radicalized in the last couple of years?
First of all, we're Bostonians. And as an imam, I'm on the record very clearly, and my family with me, as being very loyal Americans. And so the notion that he or anyone in my family would have that sort of an intent against the Boston Police Department, whom we revere. Now, let me just say that our goal with this is not to indict the Boston Police Department. That's not what we're doing. We want more information about what happened in that parking lot, and we want more information concerning the officers who responded to the incident. That's what we're looking for.
But I want to, if I may, for just a minute, Imam, leading up to this incident, what I was talking about was their allegation that your brother had become radicalized. One of the affidavits suggests that he had liked a Facebook page for the Islamic State, and there were links on that to violent extremism. Do you suggest that those allegations are not true, that your brother was walking the straight and narrow, that he had not been lured into or embraced some sort of violent jihad approach to the world?
Well, the facts are still coming in. The investigation's ongoing. It's open. We're interested in knowing these things conclusively, but we don't know them.
So you're not saying it's not true, you're saying you don't know.
I'm saying we're looking for more information.
There was a woman who identified herself as your aunt and your brother's aunt. Was that your aunt the other day at the press conference?
Karen, I think, yes.
She is your aunt. She suggested that that your brother had been followed for 3 years, not because of what, and I'm putting words in her mouth,
Sure.
but this was the gist of it, you know
Sure.
what she said, not because of what he had done, but because of who he was. Had he not been a Muslim, he would not have been under suspicion. He would not have been followed like this, essentially suggesting he did nothing wrong other than embrace a particular religion. Do you subscribe to your aunt's perspective on this?
Well, partly, yes. I mean, if you're a target or subject of an investigation for 2 or 3 years and there's no charge, how does what happened in the parking lot that morning happen without charges, without a warrant, without an order from the court? How does that happen? In 2 years, you haven't, you weren't able to identify clearly and legally anything that would warrant an arrest. Then how does that happen? How does it culminate in that event?
So you agree that it is because of his religion?
Partly, but that we're not trying to make this a religious discrimination incident or a police brutality incident. We just want to know the facts of the matter of that morning, that's all.
Before you go, how would you say the police and the district attorney's office in Suffolk County has treated your family thus far?
The DA is fantastic, wonderful man.
How about the police?
And the police, I haven't met with the commissioner yet. I would like to meet with him. I'd like to say some things to him as a Bostonian, as someone who believes in Boston strong and who is committed to that idea and who was at the forefront of the narrative on the Boston Marathon and what happened here. I'm on the record as being a supporter of this city and a proud supporter of it.
Imam, I know it's a tough time for you. I really appreciate your time. Thank you
very
so
much.
much.